All right, what's up with you guys, man? First of all, I want to say what's going on with you on this Sunday afternoon. Okay, welcome to the official business podcast show, man, where we get down and talk about most anything dealing with life and business sense and what really bothers us. Because lately, a lot of things going on, but it's a new year, and a lot of people are saying it's a new year, it's a new me, and they are wanting to know what to do differently than what they did in the past. Now, if you hear that little cat, that little feline in the background, that's my special cat named Sparkles. Uh, I just fed her, but anyway, like the title said, are cash trucks the way to go? And what up with you, Big Chris? What's up with you, Mr. Xavier? I want to shout out to all you guys for tuning in, man, and got your notification bells on. And if you haven't, please subscribe. This is what help us and help the analytics and the algorithm gods bring us to your listening pleasure. But anyway, with that being said, I've seen and I've heard many talks and discussions about cash trucks. And I don't have a ill bone about new trucks or older trucks. But my perspective about the older trucks, they do offer a lot of what up with your checkmate? What up with your checkmate? Yeah, man, I see you, man. I see you got the old engine still running. You acting surprised. We over here watching you from a distance, baby. We like, hey man, I don't know why he's acting surprised. It's a mechanical engine. He's gonna be all right. That little rear ends ain't gonna allow you to exceed 1700 RPMs now. So we ain't worried about your checkmate. We know you're gonna be out there making that money, man, and safely. With those little rear ends, we ain't gotta worry about you over speed. Nah. You don't have to make a YouTube video talking about, man, my truck running hot. The damn thing don't kick enough RPMs to run hot. You're going to be running at optimum temperature at all times. What up with your Triple D Ghost Town Bully? What's up with it, babe? But I'm gonna give y'all my perspective, okay, about cash trucks because um, no matter no matter what truck you buy, you have to remember it's only a tool, okay? The cash trucks and the lease. Well, I wouldn't say lease. I would say newer trucks. All right, so things that people need to keep in mind about cash trucks is if the market should go down. Hold on, real quick. All right, if the market should go down, would you be able to survive in a low market with a cash truck versus a payment? You know, just like if you had a 9 to 5, the vehicle that you have in your driveway, if you should lose your job today, would you be able to maintain that vehicle? Right. And then you got to also look at the perspective of you're about to enter business ownership. Okay. A cash truck will allow you more freedom. It will relieve a lot more stress. It wouldn't even produce as much stress as a new truck when you are looking at it at a financial business standpoint of, okay, this is my investment. This is my tool. Can I be able to replace this tool? Can I maintain this tool? See, those are things you could really that goes hand in hand with a cash truck versus newer trucks. Now, there's pros and cons to both, but I do believe, and it's out here statistically, that cash trucks put you in a better boat financially in operating your business. Now, some might argue that a cash truck brings up overhead costs down. Yes, 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 to a certain extent because you got to pay attention to the industry as a whole and not just industry as a let's say as a tunnel, okay, where you're focusing saying, okay, this cash truck right here, I spent 7500 for this truck. I'm able to get cheaper engine or well, I messed up right there. I'm not going to say cheaper. I'm going to say more affordable because as business owners, we got to start working on ourselves. You really don't want cheap shit because you're not a cheap individual. You want something more affordable, more economical. Okay. A cash truck allows you to have more options to affordable options. Okay. if that makes any sense. But that affordable option also weighs on the industry as a whole, meaning, do you have people out here that could be able to work on that truck, that understand the mechanical of that truck and parts for the truck, right? Parts are getting very scarce. Dealerships, truck manufacturers are, of course, increasing the cost of older truck parts. Older truck parts have shown that their craftsmanship is not what it used to be. So, with an older truck, upfront cost, your upfront cost is less, but the overall life to just maintain the vehicle is going up as well. Whereas a newer truck, the upfront cost is high, the maintenance cost is high, but you have the availability of technicians that could be able to operate on the truck, software updates, and things of that nature. So when we have these discussion about cash truck and payment trucks, you got to look at your demographics. A lot of things goes into it. But some of you guys want the meat and potatoes, man. What else with you, man? All right. I'm reading the chat and I'm trying to go along with everybody on here, man. Yeah. So, um, are we really talking about the nitty gritty? Because I think sometimes how these conversations are scoped as it's scoped in a way of personal. I believe that people take things too personal. I think that they think in a way of it's either my way, my opinion, or their statement or theory is the truth of being all. When actuality is just what route are you planning on taking in your business sense? Okay. Or are you going to be a local guy? Is your truck going to be, let's say, landfill, container work, bumping docks all day, trailer transfer? Then of course you would want to start off in a cash truck because of course you're going to have some mishaps. But if you are OTR, if you're planning on not being the driver of that truck and the truck is going to start traveling across the United States, out of state, regional, and are you going to be the driver, right? Or are you going to hire another professional CDL driver? Then you want a newer truck because of the driver comforts, the technology, the discounts rates for your insurance policy. See, these are things we have to take into consideration because you have more truckers out here on the road that's more familiar with the automatic trucks and newer design trucks that's more comfortable. See, that's where we are missing too. We just looking at buying the tool, but is the user comfortable and can they operate that truck safely down the highway? Where most people don't understand that the 2025s, the 2023s, and I'm not taking shots, but I'm saying, are you guys noticing that newer drivers prefer a newer truck? They're more comfortable in a newer truck. They feel like they could control that truck better. They understand the turning radius versus the older truck. Let's say a FLD. The FLDs. Okay. Yes, it's mechanical. Yes, it's durable. Yes, it has a reputation of lasting, but the climate control system in that truck is nowhere near comparable to newer trucks. Okay. Newer trucks, the AC, the heat, the climate control system is phenomenal. It's almost like you're driving a vehicle, right? Where the older trucks, okay, you got to check the oil. You got so much going on. You got an air leak. You got this little thing over here. Where if you're experienced in the trucking industry, you could pick up on those things. But let's be honest, out here, you would possibly find a driver with less than 2 years experience versus a driver with 20 years experience. And if you're not noticing where the trucking industry is going to, guys with 20 years, 10 years, 15 years, they are preferring the newer truck. So when we have this discussion about cash truck, no, payment truck, man, how are we going to compete? It's really non and void because right now we should be thinking about catering, right? I know some of you guys are not going to pick up on this, but in order for your business to be successful, you always got to keep your driver and your employees or your leased owned people, you got to keep them in mind. And yes, okay, a guy with an older truck. See, these theories right here will work post prior to COVID, pre-COVID, not post-COVID, pre-COVID. Pre-COVID, you want to get a cash truck. But now we've seen the explosion of newer drivers, a lot more people entering this industry. We are seeing that the CDLs, some of them are restricted. They can't do manual. So, automatic is the way to go. More people out here with automatics than manuals. And most older trucks out here are preferably manual. So the argument of itself, I think that we need to move past it because the industry has advanced in progress out here. I'm not throwing shots, but I seen Checkmate, right? Checkmate made a nice short, and I think it's very informative and educational if you look at what he's presenting, what he's showing. And the other day he was showing that hey man, his generator on his truck, the on and off switch was acting up, so he had to pull the handle, but he had a generator strapped on the back of his catwalk. Well, get this, man. Newer drivers probably wouldn't know what to do in that instance. Where the newer trucks, okay, some of them already come pre-equipped, already hardwire into the system, and they are able to, turn on the APO with just a flip of a switch or automatic start. All right. So you got to take the small nuance of these newer trucks and realize now when you're started talking about the brokers and how to make money in trucking and all of this, then you got to start looking at the scope of okay, who are you going to go with the insurance policy? Okay, a cash truck might cost you only $4,000. Let's be real. I hear guys throw numbers across the board, but most cash truck you could get for under $5,000. But your insurance policy might cost you, your annual policy might cost you $27,000 for the year, 33,000, 40,000. Hey, we've heard people with $55,000 a year insurance premiums where insurance companies are saying, okay, you bring an older truck onto your policy, you're going to pay more because of the risk factor. You might say, oh man, I think it's unfair. Well, here go the thing. This is just trucking. This is business. They are comparing that older truck to what's on the road today. The technologies, the self-drive, the help with the driver assist, the lane departure, the warning, all of the ADAS system, right? It helps the drivers. So they think that, okay, these older trucks doesn't have that much technology behind it. They are more dangerous or it's a bigger risk for them to insure that truck. So yes, your initial purchase will always be lower. And I'm not disputing that point, but I am disputing the point of longevity. Longevity. And if you're coming into the trucking industry and you're looking for success and you're looking for growth or you're looking for financial freedom, unfortunately, how the system is set up, you're going to have to assume some type of debt. You're not going to be able to participate as well or growth expansion without some type of debt. You know, I hear people, and I respect all walks of owls, but are we talking about being the most successful owner operator signed under somebody? Are we talking about being the most successful lease driver signed under somebody? Or are we talking about becoming a force that's going to help shape the market rate and value? Because last time that I checked, we need as truckers, carriers, owner operators, we need more things shaped in our favor versus us molding ourselves into what they desire. And what they desire and what has been shown for the last 25 years is that the price of our products, the price of our equipment, the prices of the employee wages are constantly going up. But us as truck owners, carriers, we must find ways of cutting costs and reducing our profits. And this is what you get into where you got the scams, you got the misleading, you got company driver mislabel. You got guys out here that goes out here and they will work 30 days, 6 weeks on, 9 weeks on, just to scrape by with $750. And this is 2026 now. I think that is the most absurd. And I'm not throwing shots at people in the restaurants, But bartenders, waiters make more than an average company truck driver. And with that being said, this is where we have to start saying, okay, what do we do? What do we do? How do I, as a company owner, how do I start to this whole journey of progression? And the first thing you have to realize is it's going to take a little bit of debt to get to where you want to go to, because you have to be a force to be reckoned with. You have to have your ducks in a row. The systems is already set up. If you know, okay, this truck right here, and I'm not saying people to go out there and buy a $300,000 truck. If you can afford it, go ahead. Now, as a company owner and you have that type of bread, I would advise you to lease. Now, let me make myself clear on this lease. I am saying Rush Peterbilt. Let's say OB, myself. I'm ready to go, let's say, compete for a direct freight, and I've already been in the trucking industry, and I got some inside information about some direct freight. Well, I'm going to go to Rush Peterbilt or Volvo, and I'm going to lease a truck. I'm going to lease a brand new truck. I'm not going to Ryder. I'm going straight to the dealership, and I'm going to sign up for the lease, because I'm not thinking about myself at that point. I'm thinking about reliability, roadside service, but overall, driver comforts. Driver comforts. I might miss something, so I could get into that program and have them, suggest a few things that will make the truck more driver friendly, and that most company drivers are aware of, or want in a truck, right? I want the truck to be comfortable. If your drivers ain't comfortable, then your truck is not safely operating. Okay, that's going to be number one, because in order for me to satisfy my customer, I got to satisfy the driver. Yeah, my overhead costs are going to be a lot higher. But see, in that retrospect, you should understand the cost of doing business and your value. See, when people are in debt, they start to realize their value. They I'm trying to keep this conversation because trucking is not that difficult. I think we just put our minds in different places. I think we look for more of acceptance and things of that nature, but follow me on this. If you are in debt, if you know that you are in debt, you should start to understand your value and what it would take to get out of debt versus a person that has no debt. A person that goes no debt, usually when they participate in the spot market, they go in with this mindset of, oh man, I could make it by as long as I'm paying my bill, versus somebody that has something to lose, or somebody that's responsible for the driver's pay. So they are more eager to get a higher rate than a person that's saying, okay, man, I made 2,000 this week and I'm about to take this backhaul. As long as this backhaul pay me at least 500, I'm good. Versus a company guy, the guy that has let's just say one truck or two trucks. Let's go one truck, right? A guy with one truck with a driver, newer truck that's on a lease, new equipment, things of that nature, where he understands that, okay, man, I'm in debt, $6,000 right at the top. When I Every morning when we wake up, it's $6,000, because that's what's going to cost the overhead cost for this truck, not including fuel. So he's going to be more proactive in driving up the market rate versus somebody that goes out here and say, man, I want to get into the trucking game as cheap as possible, because it's inbred in their mind. They saying, okay, I want to get in as low as possible and make the highest amount of money, but not understanding that it takes money to make money. It's a money multiplier. Trucking is really, I know I'm not probably making sense to a lot of people, but let me help you out. Trucking is a money multiplier. If what you put in, you should be multiplying that. If you put in $100, you're getting three. You got to be eager. You got to be hungry, and you got to come well dressed and well played. Your overhead costs should be on your business strategy. You should not base your business costs or you should not even base your wealth off of the spot market. You should not be using that to base your wealth. You should be thinking about your longevity. Cab trucks are a king for a niche. A niche. Cab truck would do good with, let's say, infrastructure work. Great. Until you are able to accumulate the money or the capital that you need for expansion, cash trucks is perfect for that. Cash trucks is perfect for, let's say, 200-mile radius. If you're trying to build up a customer base or you're trying to build business relation or even just start a network, right? It's great for that. But when you start to become a home run play runner, or if you're trying to come in and have your 2%, which is a lot. I know people don't understand percentage, but you got to look at it. 2% of the market or 2% control of your area, then you got to go new because it's not about you anymore. When I say new, when I say these things, when I say lease, let me tell you, when I say lease, if you don't have a team of trained technicians, which come on, the average person, do you have trained technicians that's very familiar with the engines, the truck, the make, the model, the computer software, all of the tools on standby? If you don't have that on standby, then sometimes it's ideal for you to go lease. So you could, get a loaner truck while your truck is down. So the overhead cost is more higher. I know. So I'm just throwing this out here so you guys could really make that decision for yourself. So you don't find yourself in these debates. That's pointless. You want solutions. Here are some solutions. Let's get these critical thinking skills going. Let's get these brain cells fired up. Because if not, then we just really just bragging to one another. Right? Hey, everybody. Triple D got some things. All right. If you're willing not to, I'm reading Ghost Town Boogie right here. I'm putting everybody on the screen, you guys. All right. Now, Triple D brings up some great things. And if y'all don't know who Triple D is, he's a experienced master technician that's very familiar with the trucks and the coach lines. So, yes. But have you guys been noticing that all the new products has been getting recalls? Technology, that's the bad thing about brand new technology, cutting edge technology. Is going to be massive recalls. Anything, anything. There's going to be massive recalls. So until they defeat that, this is just what we have as a trucking community. Uh, Older trucks, parts are getting very scarce, and they are increasing up to some of these places 300% for a part. And then let's look at this too. As cost of living goes up, wages has to go up. So, the ideology of finding great technicians at a mechanic shop or a repair facility for $75 an hour. Yeah, some of you guys, I don't think y'all think this through. Okay. How would a diesel diesel shop attract professional master techs when the diesel shop house rate is $75 an hour? What is he paying the diesel technician? If the rate is 75, what do you think he's making? $15 an hour to work on your truck? In today's market, $20 an hour? When the national average is roughly between 30, that's on the low side, to up to about 70. How would the diesel shop make any money? How would it who's gonna go work for them prices? We gotta be realistic out here. Times has changed. Cost of living for everyone. I don't care who you are. I don't care how old you are. Cost of living has gone up. And that's where I think we all could agree to. But yeah, if you're not willing to get your hands dirty to stay in the new truck, yeah, truck warranty. Now, see, yes. So Ghost Town Bully, yes, that's right to extent, but you got to also remember as an owner, your time has value. If you just got through doing, let's just say, mm, 2,500 miles for the week, or let's just say 1,500 miles for the week, Are you telling me that you're willing to invest where you got to get your truck to wherever it's going to, and now you about to work on your truck. Now you got to run for parts. Now you got to get dirty. Now you better hope that whatever part you take out, that's the only problem, nothing exceeded. As a business owner, we got to remember we need our downtime. As truck owners out here, owner operators out here, what's very critical about our business is that we get rest. We can't be running the road and then coming home, work on these damn trucks all day. You burnt out. You don't even have time to think about your business. And if you're thinking about your business while you behind the wheel, but you never took time while you was out of the truck to think about your business, man, you're setting yourself up for stress. And that's why I think that a lot of truckers are stressed because they're so talented, but they're not managing their time properly. You're so talented, but you're not managing your time. You're not balancing everything out because yes, you could keep your overhead costs low by being the truck, the owner operator, and the mechanic. But also, who's doing your business bidding? When are you going to do your business bidding? When the load board shows up on your phone? Whatever the analytics tell you what area is hot. See, this is where we get lost in the sauce. We we're looking at our talent, but we're not looking at our potential. You know, for a guy to work good with his hand, that's great. But then at that point, if you're a truck driver, you're an owner operator. At that point, you got to pass the torch. If you want to make it, you're gonna have to pass the torch. Get somebody young, get an apprentice or find somebody that's familiar with trucks. See, this is where you are the supervisor too. You're the owner of the company and supervisor, and find somebody, delegate that job. So when you get in and when you are chilling, you're thinking about the potential of your company, where you want to go with your company, networking, communicating, calling customers, calling brokers, building relationships. Why is the guy out there working on your truck that you trust and you could pay him well and stop with the, and I'm not talking about directly to you, Ghost Time, but truckers out there, stop paying people, man, $40, $50 to work on your truck. But you expect the brokers. How are you going to devalue somebody that's working on the most valuable asset that you possess? You got to change that mindset. I but yeah. All right, Triple D got right here. I'm putting everything on the screen, you guys. That can work either way with older trucks versus newer on the insurance costs. Newer truck costs the insurance company more to repair. Also, your physical damage costs more. Your physical damage will cost more. Yes, Triple D, new vehicles cost more, right? Guess what insurance companies would do? Total out the truck. There you go. They'll total it. They'll just total it. If you haven't seen the trend, and this is for everybody, if you guys haven't seen the trend, it doesn't even matter. You could go and buy an older truck. It's one of these things. Damn if you do, damn if you don't. If you go and buy an older truck and you get into an accident, insurance company's going to say, well, the parts exceed the value of the truck total. Now you're going to buy a newer truck. Okay. The parts are expensive, exceeds the value of the truck total. It could go anyway. You can't do the insurance bidding. And that's where I say, okay, um, ever since after COVID, things has changed. You got to pivot. You got to adapt. Things are not the same where guys are saying, man, it needs to go back to the older way. We would love for it to go back to the older ways, but it's not. They're not bringing back and say, okay, mandatory paper logs, everybody. It's not. It's technology. We are here. Companies are adjusting. Insurance companies are adjusting. But as truckers, we have to pivot and see where we need to adjust. Right. And if you notice the discussion, you guys are participating in it. And this is what we need as a community. Right. We need all voices, but at the same time, we need solution based. And one of the things right now is just getting smart. One of the solutions that I'm a big component about is understanding the value of your money, understanding where you need to put your money, understanding that it's okay to go in debt. It's okay to go in debt. If you got a mortgage, you went into debt. If you have a vehicle that's financed, you went into debt. It's just being responsible. You know, people see a $300,000 truck and they lose their marbles. But on average, you see the new F-350s, the F-250s. You see them; they are common trucks on the roadway, and majority of them are north of $80,000. Now, somebody's gonna say, "Well, man, they ain't worth it." Well, unfortunately, the markets, mm, people buying them. People buying them. Yukons, Denali's, $100,000 SUVs. We are here. We are here. Either we could complain about it, which does nobody any good, or we learn to adapt and pivot and survive it. Because we survived when fuel prices went up to $10 a gallon, $7 a gallon, $6 a gallon. That's the thing about us truckers. We are resilient. I think people just like to complain to make sure they're not the only one feeling it. Grocery bills has went up. We know that grocery stores charge more for their product. We know that restaurant costs has went up. We also know that people wages has went up. But us as truckers, I don't know why we are just stuck in this pre-COVID mindset of, man, the insurance quotes, man, they supposed to only charge me $700 a month. It's not. Man, you can't find no good mechanics, man, at $125 an hour. 125 an hour. The tools went up. The software went up. The cost of living for that technician went up. You're not property tax went up. EPA restrictions and regulations. It's a slew of things that has increased. So businesses have to adjust their prices, just like truckers. I feel as if truckers are afraid. And some of you guys, I really do, because I think you're afraid of hearing the denial, the no. Um, the no is what a lot of truckers, owner operators out here are afraid of hearing. So they give in, thinking the more they give in, the profitable or the more volume of freight they are going to get. But actually, no, it's not helping that way. It should be reversed. The more no's you get, that means that you're headed in the right direction, and just adjust. If brokers are saying no, 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 you are good, good, good. And I don't think a lot of owner operators have been told that. I think, and just my opinion from what I've seen, you guys have been told the opposite. Oh man, you got to get the brokers on your side, man. If the brokers ain't cool to you, man, you ain't gonna be able to make it. You got to think about that truck payment. You need a broker to say no to your ass. You need to hear the no's. This is letting you know now that you're putting the ball in your court. And you could test this theory. You go out there and test it. You could, oh, OB, I think you test it, pimp. Because you took them out of their comfort zone, their pay comfort zone, and you moved them to yours. And that's the thing about growth. You got to get uncomfortable to become comfortable. But yeah. So Triple D said 2025, the shopping rates are going to 165 to 225, and it's going to go a lot higher. It's going to go a lot higher, Triple D. Yes, it's going to go a lot higher as property tax increase. You're going to see that businesses have to adjust. And guys are like, hey, but we will survive it. Let's not get stuck on the number. And you got to remember, this is all investments. Get smart with your investment. Understand that with your investment, if you're going to buy a cash truck, you need to know the placement that you're going to put the cash truck in. There's only a few guys can run these open roads with, these super older trucks. And then the older trucks, man, you got to run through them. After a rebuild, let's just say front from the Rudy to the Tootie, if you're doing front axles, radiators, engine harness. If you go through a older truck on a full rebuild, you're going to be north of $75,000. You're going to be north of 75,000. And I hear the guys now, oh man, I can get that done for $30,000. How long is it going to take you? Because you got to remember that's a truck. That's a breadwinner. You start cutting corners, you're going to increase time. You're going to increase time. You're going to be back replacing stuff. You could get into trucking affordable. So let me say this for the record. You can get into trucking for roughly under $3,000. You could probably go lower than that. You get into trucking for under 3,000. But what you plan on doing? What are you planning on doing? Where do you see yourself 5 years? Are you getting into trucking just to pull a load? Or are you trying to feed your family? And if you're trying to feed your family, remember, your family appetite would never end. So you need to think about longevity. It's chess. Think about longevity. If you think about growth, then you need to value your time. Because as a leader, you're going to have to dictate positions and strategies. You got to remember that you are more than a truck driver. You're a business owner. And people will depend on you. And you're going to have these guys that will slap the shit at you when you're short on their check. These are facts. You got people livelihoods in your hand. And I think any company driver will say, they would rather have the boss man in the office making sure that payroll is taken care of versus boss man outside trying to change a damn oil pan. Think about that. And as business owners out here, I can hear you guys now, about the market rate. The market is always fluctuating. It's very volatile, but you need to know how to navigate. You chose to play a game that has a lot of surprises. So don't be surprised when you get a surprise. Pivot. And this is not a master course. I don't know everything, but I can say I'm experienced. Hey, Frank, put on the facts, but they don't get it. I'm just self-convinced that they could drive a truck until the end and shit doesn't work like that. Correct, Frank. We all have an expiration date. That's why your medical card has an expiration date. Your body is going to eventually take you out of here. You're not going to be able to drive. You're not. You think that just think about it. Just take a think. Today now, with the technology of the DMV, the DPS, with today's technology, the computer is going to kick your license out. Once you start getting to these ages, watch what I tell you. They're going to just kick you automatically. Non-renewable. You aged out. The old ways. I'm gonna hear somebody. Yeah, I know y'all gonna hear somebody say, "Well, back in the day was beautiful, baby." That's the only thing you could say nowadays. Back in the day was beautiful. But now, let's make this beautiful. You got to know how to operate for yourself and your family. That's what's beautiful. Okay? That's it. A lot of people ain't gonna agree with me. People gonna say, "Oh man, this is that shit," but they still driving it in 2026, and they are still conforming to 2026 rules, regulations, and policies, and they are driving on 2026 highways. Get it together. You here, baby? You here? We all in the shits. Hey, Triple D said, "Get a truck to fit your operation. There is not one size fits all. Every truck ain't the same." Correct. Configure your stuff. So, decaf trucks, lease trucks, newer trucks. I've seen the Peterbilt. The Peterbilt's what, roughly 300,000. I remember hearing people. Oh God, man, yeah, 300,000. People said the last year, the 2 year ago, the Peterbilts when it Peterbilt's 389 was selling at auction for 200 plus 250 if I'm not mistaken. Man, that's not worth it. Remember when the 379X when it was started to go for 150, man, that would never be like that. Now you got 379s. That's selling for averagely roughly between 90,000 and plus. People are like, well, I could still get a 60. I'm not saying that you can't, but them trucks still sell for 120. Because if you buy a $60,000 truck, you got to put money to it. You got to fix up the weight. You're going to be another 60,000 into it. So damn if you do, damn if you don't. Just don't be surprised in understanding your value. People say, well, man, I don't think a truck is 120 worth your OB. I don't think that these trucks are worth it. And I will listen. I do listen to people. And I tell them the same thing. Dude, you know they put it into the market. The market, right? Yeah, somebody's willing to pay 300,000. They just sold it. You getting too personal with it. You got to look at your business. See, when I hear you talk like that, I'm telling you right now, I assume that you give in to brokers. I assume it because it's almost like you're using that psychology kung fu that TQL been using on you. Well, the other truck ran it for this. Can you run it for the same rate? That's what I feel. I get that vibe. I could be wrong, but I really do get that vibe. Like, man, they sold it for 300,000. They ain't going out of business. Peterbilt ain't stopped making trucks. People are willing, and companies out here is willing to pay the 300,000. They probably just leasing it, like a lot of people do with luxury vehicles. They don't pay off that $180,000 Mercedes Benz. They lease it. They lease it. They say to you, man, I can't afford this for long term. So I lease it. Every 3 years or every 2 years, I get another truck. I get another truck. So everybody works differently. And Triple D, I thought the car haulers went up. Yeah, because I've seen the guys with the $320,000 car haulers. I got a buddy of mine that has one. His was brand new. He was north. He was 37. I want to say 370. $370,000 for a car hauler. Most of them car haulers out here, man, those are not cheap setups. So when guys out here, so this should reinforce the average owner operator that is money out here. That you are worth what you want to be worth. And the easy math is saying per mile, but you need to just go a little bit more drastic, right? If a load, you can't base everything per mile. Sometimes you have to look at your radius, but we're going to have a talk about that. And I will open up about my discussion of I used to do bids right here in DFW, Dallas, Texas, Arlington, Grand Prairie, Texas, Fort Worth, Texas, Mansfield. And we did a job. I bid a job for it was 7 miles, so it's 14 miles. So my bid was 15 miles. That's there and back. All right. So we was doing end up dirt work, moving material. We'll move material on day one and bring material in. But anyway, it's right there in Arlington. And our bid for our truck operation per day, per truck, was roughly $5,260 per truck. Each truck worked only 8 hours. The trucks did not accumulate 75 miles a day. We did not. It did not even hit 75 miles. They was lucky if they got 40 miles. It was just back and forth. But each truck was $5,200. That's what I charge. So I didn't, so I say all of that to say, I think we need to elevate as a trucking community, and we need to move the goalposts from the broker's favor into the carrier. That's it. And if somebody want to say, "Oh, OB, pull it up. Look at most of your local contracts. All this per mile crap. They pull the per mile crap when they want you to drop your rates. Just run a radius." So there you go. There you go. We're going to talk more about it. And we're going to get some more interesting talk for 2026 where we go back into the government. I still think I got the video uh, on my YouTube channel when I did an interview with one of the oldest contractors in DFW, and generational wealth. 3 generations running locally. DFW, very successful. And the per mile thing, yeah, they'll tell you, "Oh man, yeah, we could do the per mile," but we just don't just use that as our base calculator, because some trucks, some truck companies, owner operators operate within a 30-mile radius. Most guys gets up every morning that owns their own truck and will not exceed 30 miles outbound from home terminal. I know it sounds crazy, huh? But it's not. Some guys will not drive past 30 miles one way. They will not do a 60-mile turn. They will just stay at the 30, and you got to pay them. If they're driving 30 miles, they will automatically $1,500. That's local. And that's DFW. That's Dallas. Now you got guys out here that will drive what, $2 a mile. They'll say, "Hey man, well, uh, give me $2 a mile. Go over there that 100 miles. I'll be good. $200." All right, $200. Okay. Where their neighbor will not exceed 30 miles. And if he has to drive 30 miles, it's automatically $1,200. So everybody's operate differently. But the rule of thumb, you cannot use the per mile on everything. So you change your mindset, you change your business setup, and you guys gonna be fucking great. Other than that, some of y'all just, some of y'all just, I don't know why you why you want to be fucking with me, but I tell y'all, man, we could go deep on this thing, man. We could go super deep. Um, I'm not gonna be up here, and we are changing 4D. Hold on, let me grab this cigar. Some of this stuff, man, we are no longer going to participate in. We say for 2026, I'm gonna start challenging. I'm start pushing, and what I'm gonna push is, man, I'm trying to make somebody at least 30,000 a month. I don't want no cut of it. If you learn from me, cool, man. Feed your family. But somebody's gonna make 30,000 a month. They're gonna take what I said, apply their little thing to it. They're gonna see the shit does exist and it's plentiful. It is not like it's a rarity. It's not like a diamond. It's legit, but it's gonna require a damn leader. That's the only thing it requires is a leader. If you're a truck driver and you well experienced, then you could run an operation. We get tired of all these mechanics. Some of y'all ain't no good mechanics anyway. Some of you guys could strategize. You could get out here, you could formate, and then you could really sell a damn market. You could really, I'm right there on the tips. Let me hold on real quick. Some of you guys, man, can really sell a market. You'll get interested, man. Shit, factoring companies. You get away from the factoring companies. Nothing. And let me say this for the basis: factoring companies should always be temporary, a temporary band aid. That's what factoring company. That's how you should consider them. They should not be long term. The more you push yourself, you see that you can increase your revenue and then you can extend your time to pay. You can, but then you have to get familiar with balancing your books, understanding your fuel cards, and start really making companies and services fight for your business, making it an incentive, telling them, what is the incentive? Because if you're doing volume, you should get discounts. If you're hitting certain number point, you should be getting discount deductions. I know somebody's gonna say, well, what if you're a one truck operation? It doesn't matter. And this is where we gotta stop. Stop. Just stop. Stop calling yourself a one truck operation. Stop. Because you're demeaning your own self. You're not one truck. You're not. To an insurance policy, you're $1 million carrier. That's who you are. You got the same number formation as JB Hunt Snyder. You're not one truck. You just don't understand your potential. You sitting out here and you talking to the have-nots and thinking that that is the truth of the gospel. Truth of the gospel is you're anything that you strategize to become. Most stories, majority, I wouldn't say most, wrong, majority, multi-billion dollar trucking companies started with one truck. But notice, it was just not one truck. It was an individual that seen a strategy and that was not afraid to take risk. In-N-Out Burger. I was watching a documentary about In-N-Out Burger out of California. Started with a husband and wife. Now they are a multi-billion dollar burger joint. Think about that. Stop selling yourself short. That's why with some of these conversations, I get in there and I just fucking troll. I just troll. I troll because I'm listening to you guys that took the risk, they put in the work, demeaning your damn self. Always, OB, I'm humble. Hey, Pimp, let me tell you something right now, Pimp. It's a time and place to be humble. And then it's a time and place to realize your true fucking potential. When do you flip the switch to realize your potential? When do we flip the fucking switch? Because I'm hearing too many damn humbleness. Brokers know that y'all humble. Brokers know this. And they take advantage. Then you cry and complain when you see a successful trucking company go out there and buy their drivers brand new trucks. Then you say some crap like, well, I bet you they don't pay them nothing. Well, man, they got 100 employees. It looks like they paying them something. They are on W-2. They pay unemployment taxes. They pay something, brother. Might not be the greatest, but you don't get 100 employees just by just saying, I'm a humble, hardworking truck owner. You don't, bro. You strategize, you account, and you risk. A lot of trucking companies went out, but I have to salute them. They didn't give up when they seen the first sign. Some of them rode the fucking wave and they waited on a change. And that's what you have to do in business. That's not a failed business. They just got tired. They're not going to be the only trucking company. They're not going to be the last. But we evolve, we adapt. And that lets you know market opened up. It's capacity. So you don't get afraid of participating in the business and you don't second guess yourself. You move past. It's just experience. And then there you go. There you go, man. But yeah, man, y'all don't forget to hit the like button now, pimps. Y'all don't forget to hit the like buttons. I know, yeah, OB man, you change it up. No, I ain't change it up. What up with your D Bird pimp? Uh, but and Wendell, what's up with you, Wendell? I know I'm doing late shout outs, but I'm just scrolling back up the list. And I will be turning on my camera, working on my room. And we got big things going on in 2026 where we're just gonna start focusing on the business aspect of everything. And we're just gonna get cutthroat with business. Ain't no secrets, ain't no gatekeeping. You can take the information, go and start up a class. Hey, do what the hell you want to do with it. Um, I've been in the business and I'm in a position in life that I'm comfortable and I'm comfortable with speaking with it and trading, just giving trading off the damn secrets. Hey, here you go, man. Take it. I'm getting tired of seeing you guys keep on fighting over this $1.10. It's ridiculous. We ain't, man, I ain't seen $1.10. I haven't seen $1.10. It's good Lord. I mean, see people say, well, man, my truck, I could do this, I could do this. And I just listen to all your expenses. And I'm like, dude, you still ain't at $2. If you made $2 a mile, you probably taking home 75 cents. You taking 75 cents or less for your time. Oh, we calculate everything. Dude, you are probably at 50 cents. Sometimes you guys are negative. You literally did the broker a favor. You did it for free. You did it for gas money. And I'm not going to bash you, but I'm going to tell you. Now you don't have an excuse. And this is not one of these channels where, I'm going to do one. Man, fuck all that clickbait. I think truckers, man, people been getting over on us for too damn long. And yeah, there we go. But y'all let me know, man. I got 10 people in here, and I appreciate y'all 10 people. It's hard to get 10 motherfuckers together. Hell, it's hard to get 3 people together at a damn family reunion. Half of them, man, well, I ain't gonna go, OB. Why not, man? Man, I gotta work. You knew about this for a whole year. Yeah, man, boss man on my ass. Say, man, come on now, baby. But anyway, you guys, man, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Is there anything y'all want to ask me before I go now? See, I need yeah, I'm gonna bring the call in line. I say, hold on, let me see if I can still got the call in line. Because I can put y'all on the microphone. No, I can't pull up the number. Man, I gotta find the number. Hold on. Okay. So before I leave, I want you this, when I come back on the next show. So people say, oh man. Anyway, would you rather have a brand new truck of $3,000 payment or an old paid off rig? So with everything I talked about, which one works for you? $3,000 a month payment or the paid off rig? Which one works? It's really not a right or wrong answer. It's not. It's not. Don't believe the people out here that tell you, oh man, you're gonna be stressed no matter what. Hell, how many guys you see we paid off trucks? Them damn trucks sitting for what, 6 months? It doesn't matter. It all starts with you. But with that being said, man, I appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. Triple D, Ghost Town Bully, Frank, um, Let's see. Y'all hear me clicking on the computer because all right. Frank, Ghost Town Bully, checkmate, Xavier, and Bird, Wendell, Big Chris. Man, I appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. Y'all please hit the like button on the way out, pimp. And just always remember, pimp, I believe in you. Do you believe in me too? Later, man. Later.